What's up mga G? Yan. Master G once again in the place to be. Yan, di ba? Today's video, pag-uusapan natin ay may, syempre, reaction video. Pero ano naman to? Tungkol naman to sa motivational video naman ng i-reaction natin. Ang title ng video is Top 5 Speeches That Will Set You Up for Success. Yan, by Goalcast. Bago ang lahat mga Gs, kung bago ka pa lamang sa aking channel ay mag-subscribe ka na and hit the notification bell para lagi kang updated sa mga bago nating video. Mga ginagawa ko pong video ay vlogs, tutorials, reaction video, yan, mga travel vlogs, mga hunting, mga fishing, gano'n. And yun, kung may mga suggestion ka, recommendation, violent reaction, o gusto mong ma-shoutout sa video ko, mag-iwan ka lamang po ng mga comments dyan sa baba, binabasa po natin palagi yan. Yun. Konting commercial muna mga G. Sure Stay by Faith Lauren Cosmetic and Skincare, yan na meron siyang lip tint, bentonite clay mask, at saka yung glass skin set. Yan, from Sure Stay. Kung gusto mong gumanda, bumili ka na. Yan, iiwan natin yung FB page niya sa baba. Message na lang kayo sa mga gustong bumili. At sa mga gusto pong magbakasyon o mamasyal, puntahan niyo yung biyahe ni J. Rick. Yan, kapatid ko po yun. At may mga travel Pinas, yan. Parang kung gusto nyo makita yung mga schedule o mga lugar na pupuntahan niya, bisitahin nyo na po yung kanyang page. Maraming salamat. So yun mga G, mag-start na tayo. Panonoodin natin yung sinabi ko kanina, top 5 speeches that will set you up for success. Change the World by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ask me all the time, what is the secret to success? And I always tell them, but the short version is, you got to have a 22-inch biceps.
What's the secret of the size of the success? What the short version is, you got to have a 22-inch bicep. Kailangan daw magkaroon ka 22.
And you got to be able to kill predators with your bare hands. And of course, you got to have this charming Austrian act.
Number 1 si Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Change the world.
That's a given. The long version is that I actually always had 5 rules.
That's a given. The long version is that actually
you don't need to be a bodybuilding champion. You don't need to want to be an action hero or anything like that. If you want to excel in whatever you do, those rules are for you. So my first rule is find your vision.
First rule daw ni Arnold Schwarzenegger is find your vision.
Follow it. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a vision, you just drift.
Wala ka daw goal. Wala ka daw parang mararating. Kailangan talaga sa lahat ng bagay may goal ka. Kasi pag wala kang goal, parang alam mo yung wala kang patutukuhan. Hindi mo alam yung saan ka pupunta kasi wala kang goal. Hindi mo iniisip yung goal mo.
Around. You're not going to be happy. I grew up after the Second World War. Austria, right along with Germany, lost the Second World War. There was, of course, depression. There was a terrible economic situation. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to escape. And luckily, one day in school, I watched a documentary about America. I knew exactly that is where I wanted to end up. The question was just, how do I get there? How do I get to America? No one had the money to travel or anything. But one day, I was fortunate enough to see a bodybuilding magazine. And on the cover was this very muscular guy. Mr. Universe becomes Hercules star. His name was Reg Park. I read the article as fast as I could, learning about how he grew up in Leeds in England, poor, and how he trained 5 hours a day, every single day, and trained and trained and trained, and then he finally became Mr. Great Britain, and then became Mr. Universe. And then he won a second Mr. Universe title, and a third Mr. Universe title, and then all of a sudden he landed in Rome in Cinecittà doing Hercules movies. And as I read, I became more and more certain. I had that vision very clearly laid out, to be a champion on that same stage where he won the Mr. Universe, and then to move to America, then get into movies. From that moment on, everything that I did, no matter how hard I had to work or how much I had to struggle, it didn't matter, because I knew what the purpose was, and I found my passion.
Gaano daw kahirap kasi nakita niya na daw yung purpose niya. Parang kahit nahirapan siya, kahit napapagod na siya, alam niya yung ano niya, masaya siya sa ginagawa niya kasi yun yung passion niya.
Always discover your vision, and the
Always discover your vision.
rest will follow.
Then the rest
Now,
will
my
follow.
second rule is never ever think small.
Never ever think small.
You have to go and shoot for the stars. I didn't
You have to go and shoot for the stars.
just think about being in movies. No, I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to have above the title billing. I wanted to
Yan yung pumapasok yung law of attraction.
become the highest paid entertainer. I basically wanted to be another John Wayne. What's wrong with that? Never think small, think big.
Never think small, think big. Yung gandang yung quotes na sinabi ni Arnold.
The third rule is ignore the naysayers.
Yun nga yung sinabi ko kanina, ignore the naysayer, yung mga nagkaano dyan, yung sabi dyan mga kung ano-ano, mga basher mo, mga namamaliit sa'yo, ignore mo yan.
I think it is natural that when you have a big vision and big dreams and you have big goals, that people are going to say around you, I don't think it can be done. I think it's impossible. I mean, it started right away when I was 15 years old and I became a bodybuilder. Right after that, when I said, I want to be a world champion in bodybuilding, I want to be Mr. Universe. They immediately said, are you crazy? Bodybuilding is an American sport, forget about it, it's nuts. And then when I wanted to go into show business, after I won 13 world championship titles in bodybuilding, I said, I want to be like Reg Park.
Pagkatapos yun nun makuha yung pagiging bodybuilding world champions, in-upgrade niya naman yung pangarap niya, hindi siya tumigil doon, nangarap ulit siya. Gusto siya maging artista naman.
I want to be a Hercules, I want to get into movies. Well, I tell you, when I met those agents and managers, their reaction was, oh, Arnold, that is so funny. You want to be what, a leading man? Oh, come on. I mean, look, first of all, let's start with your body. You're gigantic, you're like a monster. And then your accent, oh, it gives me the chills just listening to your German bullshit. Come on now. Have you ever seen an international movie star with a German accent? It doesn't happen. Forget about that. And then you next.
Pangit naman kasi ng German accent eh. Parang yung tigas yung dulo.
What is it, Schwarzen Schnitzel or something like that? People are going to storm the theater and the movie houses because Schwarzen Schnitzel is starring in a movie. Oh yeah, I can see that already. Imagine that. Everywhere I turned, they said, no, it won't happen, it's not going to happen, and forget about it. Luckily, I did not listen. I started taking acting
Hindi siya nakinig.
classes, English classes, even accent removal classes. I ran around all day saying lines like, a fine wine grows on a vine.
Sinasabi niya daw lagi, yung linya na, like a fine wine rose in a vine.
All of a sudden, I got a little break. All of a sudden, I got a TV show, a little part, then another little part, and then pumping on and stay hungry, and then, of course, I landed the big role of Conan the Barbarian. So finally, I got the big break. And you know what was so interesting about it was the director said at the press conference, if we wouldn't have had Schwarzenegger with those muscles, we would have had to build one. And then when I did Terminator, James Cameron said the I'll be back line became one of the most famous movie lines in history because of Arnold's crazy accent.
Arnold's crazy.
Because he sounded like a machine. So as you see, everything that the naysayers said was a liability became.
You see, everything that the naysayer said was a liability became an asset. Tama naman. Hindi ba sabi ko kanina? Yun yung mga naninira sa'yo, yung magpapalakas sa'yo. Yan yung naging ginawa niya. Asset, yung mga liability na yun.
Ignore the naysayers. The fourth rule is work your ass off. You never want to fail because you didn't work hard enough. It doesn't matter in what area you're in. No pain, no gain. Listen, when I came to the United States, I remember that I trained 5 hours a day, every day, and I was managing a construction business, and I was a bricklayer, and I went to college also, and I took acting classes from 8 o'clock at night.
Apat na ano? Apat na trabaho sa isang araw. Bubuhat siya, inasikaso niya daw yung yung construction ng company niya. Papasok siya ng college and pupunta siya sa acting class.
Night to 12 o'clock midnight. Every day I did that. Work your butt off.
Work your butt off.
That's what I always believe. No matter what you do, work, work, work. And my fifth and last rule is don't just take. Give some.
Don't just take, give back. Tama. Yun talaga yung pinakahuli. Kung sakaling, di ba, maano ka, kapalarin ka, siyempre, ano ka na, marami ka ng pera, ano ka na, bless ka na, magbigay ka naman, maging blessing ka naman sa iba.
Something back. Tear down that mirror that makes you always look at yourself, and you will be able to look beyond that mirror, and you will see the millions and millions of people that need your help. And this is why I tried to take every opportunity that I could to give something back. I started training Special Olympians. I started after-school programs for the most vulnerable children, for inner-city children, to make them be able to say no to drugs, no to gangs, and no to violence. We all can create change, whether it is in our neighborhood or in our local schools, because the bottom line is, it is up to us. Have a vision. Think big. Ignore the naysayers. Work your ass off and give back and change the world. Because if not us, who? If not now, when?
So yun mga G, tapos na. Yung pinaka-bold talaga dito yung kay yung kay Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kumbaga, andun lang siya lahat Yung magkaroon ka ng vision, goal, ignore the naysayer, di ba? Tapos yung mga naysayer, sabihin yung mga naninira sa'yo, yung mga basher mo dyan, pansinin yan, gawin mo lang gawin yung gusto mo. Tapos yun, work your butts off, sabi nga. Siyempre kung puro ka lang naman plano, wala ka namang ginagawang action, wala rin kwenta yun. So dapat yun, gawin mo din yun. Yung kanina kasi masipag nga siya, di ba? May gawa siya, wala naman siya sistema. Isa rin yun sa kailangan mong gawin. Kailangan kahit anong sipag mo, kung wala ka naman sistema, kung wala ka naman motivation, kung di ka naman nagbabasa, di ka nag-aaral, wala rin kwenta yun. Puro ka lang trabaho, di ba? Ayun, basahin natin yung mga comments, mga G. Medyo mahaba tong video na to, mga G. Ewan ko, papanoorin nyo pa to. Yan. The first one showed me how much I complain about the smallest things. So, yung isa kasi, diba, dami nating complain, maliit na bagay, complain. Yun na, minsan sa Pilipino, isa sa mga toxic na, toxic na ugali ng Pilipino yung madaming reklamo. Konting bagay, reklamo. Diba? Reklamo sa gobyerno, reklamo, pero ang talaga nasa sarili lang natin yan. When you're getting really motivated, it cuts off by an advert. Motivation lang ang kailangan mga G. If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. As a 14 years old who wants to become a Navy SEAL, that speech was just so inspiring. I watched this video when I was in a bad place financially, then I changed my mindset and started investing the money I have in Forex and crypto. Today I'm doing great financially. You're alive, then act like it. Oo nga, ayan. Success isn't measured by money or power or social rank. Success is measured by your discipline and inner peace. Tama. I wonder what kind of people dislike something like that. May nag-dislike ba? Wow, 670. Wala yung walang magawa sa buhay. Ayun yung mga sinasabing naysayer, yung mga nagdi-dislike na yan. Yeah, never measure a person by the size of their slippers, but measure them by the size of the heart. Isa rin yung sa pinakagusto kong words na yun. Wag mong tingnan yung tao sa physical. Tingnan mo yung tao kung ano yung puso niya, kung ano yung yan. yung eager niya para makamit yung goal niya. If you hit soft, life, if you hit soft, life will hit hard. Yun. Hit hard and life will hit softer. Tama naman. Have a vision, think big, ignore the naysayer, work your ass off. Yun yung sabi ni Arnold Schwarzenegger, give back. Yung give back yung huli pala, give back. Think big. Yan. Dapat lagi ka nag-iisip ng isipin mo lagi yung pangarap mo. Huwag mag-isip ng mga maliliit na bagay. Pag gusto mo ng sasakyan, isipin mo na yung Ferrari, yung mga mahal, huwag mo isipin yung mumurahin lang. Okay yung mga G, maraming salamat sa pagsabaybay. Hanggang dito na lang yung video natin, sobrang haba na. Yun, at bago ka pa lang sa aking channel, pag-subscribe ka na and hit the notification bell para lagi updated sa mga bago nating video. At yun, papaalam na ako. God bless. Yun. Ayun nga, sabi nga, think big, have a vision, ignore the naysayer, work your ass off, and give back. Yun. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.